Week 10 in the CFL wraps up in Edmonton, where Trey Ford looks to lead his Elks to their second win of the season. The Canadian coming off a thrilling victory over the Riders, passing for 252, but also rushing for 46. Meanwhile, last week, one to forget for the Lions. Not only shut out for the first time since October 2021, but also losing Vernon Adams to a knee injury, which means this man, Jake Dolegala, is hoping to get the BC Lions back on track tonight. It's Sunday Night Football on TSN. Kate Burness alongside Matt Dunnigan and Jim Barker as we get you set for the Lions taking on the Elks. And JB, as I just mentioned, Jake Dolegala needs to do something special tonight because, my goodness, that was ugly last week.
Yeah, and Trey Ford has given that defense for Edmonton a hop in their step. And Jake Dolegala is brand new in this system. I mean, he's been here for the year, but it's going to be interesting to me to see Jordan Maksimic. He's dealt with Nathan Rourke, and he's dealt with Vernon Adams. Very different kinds of guys. Dolegala can run, but he's a guy who's much more comfortable sitting in the pocket and being able to use his height and find those receivers over the middle. So I think it's a great matchup.
Yeah, it is. It's a great matchup, too, because of Jordan Maksimic's offense. It's quarterback friendly, and I think that Jake Dolegala is going to excel in that. He's a big quarterback, can see a lot. This guy, we know he excels with his athletic ability, and what happened with the run game last week was spectacular. I expect more of that. Puts everybody on notice on that defensive side of the football with Trey Ford on the football field, and don't fall asleep on his arm or his ability to push down the field, because he can make that happen, too.
Well, Javon Leake's numbers were absolutely off the chart. And we were talking about this before, too. How nice would it be for these Edmonton fans to finally see a win at home?
Yeah, September 9th was the last time they saw it last year.
Oh, we'll see, JB. All right, kickoff coming from Commonwealth. These Elks fans, oh, they want to win so desperately. We'll get you there right after this.
Week 10 on the CFL schedule set to wrap up here in Edmonton on an absolutely beautiful Sunday evening. It's the second and final meeting of the year between the Elks and the Lions. BC won the first meeting of the year, but coming into this game having lost 2 in a row, and for the first time all season, we can say Edmonton's looking to build off a win.
Yeah, in the last 30 games for the Elks, only one quarterback has registered a win. That guy's name, University of Waterloo, Trey Ford. He led the Elks to their first win of the season last week in Saskatchewan. He gets start number 2 tonight. Jake Dolegala gets his first start as a BC Lion with the injury to Vernon Adams Jr. It's his 11th career start, so he does have some experience and lots of weapons around him.
The Campbell's team has been good at home this year, but 2-3 on the road. They'll look to get that number up to 500 here this afternoon. And Jarius Jackson coming in after picking up his first career CFL win in impressive fashion, I should add. 42-31 on the road against a pretty good Riders team. Big game for both of these clubs. If Edmonton can get the win, they deliver something at home for their fans who've been waiting for a long time. Get themselves relatively back into the mix. And BC looking to avoid a 3-game losing streak here as we are underway in Edmonton. Williams will wait. This hangs up there. Now he's going to run underneath it at the 22. Williams picks his way back out, gets the near sideline, and a decent return to get things started for Jake Dolegala and the BC Lions.
Well, the BC Lions won the toss and took the ball, so they want to get Jake Dolegala out there, get him settled in. I mentioned he has 10 starts under his belt, 9 last year with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. One of his 2 wins was against the BC Lions last year. Gets his first start with the Lions tonight. Vernon Adams Jr. is here in Edmonton, but on the sideline.
Any points for BC would be an improvement on last week. Shut out.
Wow.
Not even close.
Shut down last week.
They learned a lesson at the hands of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defense. Dolegala starts here on his 43. Stand back. Mackey both in there, and they'll hand it off to the fullback. Mackey kicks it ahead, and pretty good pickup on first down for Mackey. Big part of this BC offense.
Right tackle Kent Perkins last week against Winnipeg. Well, there wasn't many that had big games for the BC Lions, but he had some penalty issues. He'll look to make amends for that tonight. And Keon Hatcher got his first start last week against Winnipeg, made a few catches, but really he's going to settle in. I expect bigger things from Hatcher here tonight.
Second and just 3. Dolegala will hand it off to Stenbeck, picking his way through. He's got the first down and a little bit more. Takes it down inside the 50. Elliott Brown in on the tackle.
Well, I like the strategy here from Jordan Maksimic, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, to get Jake Dolegala comfortable, get it to the running backs, first the fullback on first down, and then to his star tailback, William Stenbeck, on second down. He gets a new set.
Dolegala this time, Stenbeck over to his left. He'll bring Keon Hatcher behind him in the slot to his left as well. Back on the ground for Stenbeck, and he rumbles ahead against this Edmonton defense.
Look at the front four. Noah Taylor has worked his way into the starting lineup. He'll start at defensive end. In the linebacking core, Niles Morgan came into this week leading the CFL in tackles, is now sitting at second after the first 3 games. And in the back end, Cordell Jackson's making plays of late. A few knockdowns for him over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, rookie season for Cordell Jackson. He's got 2 interceptions, 5 knockdowns, as they try to find some pieces that they can lock in to that secondary moving forward. Kai Gray and Darius Bratton on the other side of the defense. The veteran Purifoy smack dab in the middle of the secondary. Mackey is up and walking off. He was down on a knee momentarily. Second down for Dolegala. Hasn't passed the ball yet. He'll look to here, and that is complete. Tackle broken and a little bit of room to run as he gets it into the hands of McInnes, who did not have a catch last week.
Yeah, that was very unusual. Again, it was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defense that gets credit for that one. The Lions only had 4 first downs all game against the Bombers last week, so not many receivers got many touches.
BC offense marching here in the early going. They'll hand it off far side, and the tackle made on the play by Anderson after they handed it off to Terry Williams.
Real good play calling here by Jordan Maksimic to, really settle in Jake Dolegala in his first start with the Lions. A lot of different looks, got the running game going, a little balance. That one throw to Justin McInnes. A real good drive to start this game.
That was Berryhill. That's his first touch of the ball game. 2nd and 5. 4 options out to the left for Dolegala. That's where he looks. That's where he throws. He's got McInnes again. And McInnes is down just outside the Edmonton 10.
Well, what do we know about Jake Dolegala? I talked about his start. So he does have some experience in the league. He's had some big games. He's thrown for over 400 in a couple of games in his short sort of journey in the CFL. He's got a cannon of an arm. And right now, 3 for 3 in drive number 1. I know it's just the start of the game, but that's the start you want in your first one as a BC Lion.
We've seen flashes from Dolegala.
No question.
Lines up under center here. 1st and 10 from the Edmonton 11. Back to Stenbeck. Stenbeck down, and he stopped just short of the end zone. And the Lions are knocking on the door here early in the first.
Coming into the week, Stenbeck was sitting in 3rd in the rushing department. Of course, because of bye weeks, there's odd number of games. Sometimes tailback will have an extra game. So kind of have to look at the averages, but so far 3 carries for 26 yards for 31. That's a good start in drive 1.
Short yardage, David Mackey to handle the duties, pushing ahead, and he's in. Touchdown BC. And what a way to start on the road after being shut out just a week ago. They drive the field and punch one in for 6.
And they're going fishing. I think that's a little West Coast salmon fishing right there. I mean, the Chinook, or you can retain a Chinook, 1 per person per day.
That's a rule.
The Lions hope that it's more than that, but yeah, that's a great drive to open up on the road. Again, to get Jake Dolegala settled in. A couple of high percentage throws, but he recognized coverage, got it to the guy he had to get it to, which was Justin McInnes on those routes, and the running of William Stanback brought the balance.
Sean White is out, sneaks it through that left upright. And Dolegala and the BC Lions are on the board. The fullback, David Mackey, finishes the job.
Maybe Coho. Maybe it's a Coho. What a drive for the Lions to open up on the road with great balance. 8 plays, 67 yards. Took 4 minutes and 29 seconds out of this first quarter. But the balance was 5 runs versus 3 passes. And the passes, high percentage. Little curls, get it out of his hands quickly. Stanback did some heavy lifting, and then Mackey finished it off. Started the drive and then finished it. And then they're going fishing.
Well orchestrated drive for the Lions. Dolegala.
Good drive, man.
Back to the tablet.
Good work. Just like that.
And Edmonton, who allowed that return touchdown to start last week's game, find themselves down 7-0 again here today. Now this is taken just inside the 10. Purifoy on the return, and he is stopped shy of the 30. Let's get a look at Trey Ford.
Well, overall, Trey Ford is 6-8 as a starter, but you know the story by now. Both last year and this year, the 4 wins registered by the Elks last year. Trey Ford was the starter for all 4, and their only win this year, he was the starter last week. But again, as you mentioned, coming on the field for his first series, down 7-0, because Mario Alford last week in Saskatchewan started that game off with a kick return TD.
Big round of applause from the crowd here when he was introduced with the offense to start the game. They're excited to see him. He'll start it on the ground, and nowhere to go for this Elks offense.
David Foku at right guard. It's a former BC Lion, Montreal first-round pick back in 14, but played 3 years with the Lions before moving over to Edmonton. And what a game for Javon Leake. You know, in combination with Trey Ford, it really opens up that run game. 169 yards rushing for 22. Wow.
Almost had 200 total yards when you mix in the 3 catches that he had as well. They gave him the first touch. It only went for a yard, so 2nd and 9 for Ford. 3-man rush from BC. Ford escapes down the field. First down as he goes to Gittins. And they'll move the chains.
You got to stay active and alive if you're a receiving core with Trey Ford, your quarterback, because he'll get on the move, but he'll keep his eyes downfield now. He's not going to just tuck it when he sees an opening and take off and run. He gets down there, steps up in the pocket, climbs in there, gets away from that outside pressure from Tehema, and there's his target.
Up to the Edmonton 43. Back to Leak. Leak on the far side. Stretches his out. Takes it out. Close to the 50. Averaging 8.5 yards per carry this season is Javon Leak.
The Elks have 2 extra offensive linemen dressed for this game tonight, so they can go with a heavy set in the run game. Give the ball to Leak. He's got great speed when he gets out there in space.
Oh, we know he's fast.
Oh, yeah.
Riders know he's fast. Give him any sort of breathing room, and he's gone. That'll be a challenge for BC's defense. 2nd and 3. On the ground again, a little bit of a slip. And Leak reaches ahead. I think he's going to be marked down about a yard shy of a first down. Dakota Prukop watching on, waiting to see if he's going to get the call here early in this game.
Short yardage unit for the Elks this season have been perfect, 4-4.
And they are going to go for it.
Yeah, a little bit of slip on that inside cut, although TJ Lee came up from the secondary to help out and run support.
Prukop into the game. Edmonton needs a yard to keep this drive alive. Prukop pushing it ahead. He slipped a little bit as well, but was the forward progress enough? And yes, it is. First down, Edmonton.
Sione Tehama got a couple sacks a couple of weeks ago. He's got 4 tackles for losses. That leads the BC Lions. They get Manny Rukamba back in the linebacking core. If the Lions are going to spy Trey Ford, it would probably be with Rukamba, and then Christophe Beaulieu out of Laval gets his second start at free safety.
Gino Lewis will move to the top of your screen, far side. Ford looks in that direction. Now on the run to his right, takes some punishment, gets back to about the line of scrimmage. As tackle is made there, Rugamba among others.
It'll be interesting to see what they do defensively. I mentioned the spy from Rugamba is possible. This time, watch Tehama here drop out. He's a defensive end, usually in the pass rush, so Trey Ford, without looking at the defensive line, thinks that he's got no end on that side, that he's buried somewhere in the line of scrimmage, so he tried to escape to his right, and then Tehama closed quickly.
2nd and 9 again, second time on this drive. They'll clear things out. Ford, pressure coming, gets around it, takes a look down the field, has a man wide open. Jones has it just outside the 30. Had a huge game last week, over 100 yards, and Ford finds him again.
I tell you what, the Lions defensively load up this side. Here comes TJ Lee. They've also got the combo on that side too, and that's the move. That's what Trey Ford can do. You've got him in space. You're a defensive back with great feet. That's TJ Lee. That's not a D lineman. He gets outside of him, and now you're in trouble.
Now they're also in field goal range, but looking for more. On the ground again, Leak taken down. BC Lion player a little slow to get up.
Javon Leak, 3 touchdowns. It's been a while since an Edmonton tailback has put together a 3-touchdown performance.
Who do we got?
Like way back. Well, I'll just let you simmer on that for a second.
Marinate in it.
Yeah, marinate on that.
Yeah.
What a great ground game Edmonton put on the field last week.
BC Lions staff out on the field. We'll step away. Well, what a week last week for Javon Leak. And sometimes it's just about opportunity. Gets the start, 12 touches, and blows up.
Yeah, gets to start with Trey Ford as the quarterback too. That was a big factor, and it will be moving forward as long as Ford is the starter, because it softens those ends, opens up middle lanes, but don't take anything away from what Javon Leak did.
2nd and 6 for Ford. This time he's in trouble and will not escape. Taken down on the play. Covington, I believe, started it for the Lions.
Christian Covington got 3 defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage. He's the middle guy, the nose, just a bull rush straight down Main Street, and that's where Ford tried to escape. Good power and strength. He going head-to-head with Mark Corte.
3rd sack of the season for Covington. Will force Edmonton to have to settle for a field goal attempt on their first possession of the ball game. Boris Beatty, 75% on the year. This is a 38-yarder from just inside the left hash. That is up, and it is wide. Boris Beatty's 6th miss of the season. It's been a tough year for Beatty. This one from just 38. Rips it wide. Welcome back to Edmonton. A nice start here in this one for Jake Dolegala. And last year, with the Riders, he had an opportunity to put some film out there for people to get a look at him.
Well, it was about mid-July when the starter, Trevor Harris, went down due to injury. Mason Fine got the next 4 starts. He won one of those games versus Ottawa, but then was injured himself in the Montreal game, a lopsided loss there. And that's when Jake Dolegala came on the scene and won his first start against the BC Lions.
Now with the BC Lions, turns and hands it off to Stanback. Stanback braces for contact, lunges ahead, and is awfully close to a BC Lions first down.
Well, clearly, I think when the Lions looked at the tape from the Winnipeg game, the 4 first down game. Again, I keep saying that, and I still can't believe 4 first downs was all the Lions produced against that Winnipeg defense. But they clearly saw that 31 was the missing element there.
Had to go back to 1954 for the last time the Lions only had 4 first downs. 54.
Yeah, it's unheard of. Unheard of. And of course pitching the shutout. So that's the motivation for BC. And there's Vernon Adams, not dressed tonight. Chase Bryce played at both Clemson, Duke, and Appalachian State, is the backup.
By all accounts, though, Vernon Adams not near as bad as we thought when we saw it.
When we saw it, he's week to week.
First and 10 for the Lions, leading 7-1. On the ground again, Stanback. You might as well keep going with it if it continues to work. Morgan and Brown in on the tackle that time. Short pickup on first down.
The thing you love about William Stanback is he has a little bit of everything in his game. He's got power if he needs it. He's got that speed if he gets out in space, and he'll get those hard yards for you, falling forward.
Already with 38 yards on just 5 touches. 2nd and 7. Dolegala. Edmonton's going to bring some heat. Dolegala gets it away. Nice. And Hatcher one-hands it, reaches back, looking like Spider-Man right there.
Exactly.
Snags it and hauls it back in for a first down. Good to have that guy back. His 2nd game since returning from injury.
Wow. I mean, you see this with deep balls when the ball is up and it's floating down and the guys make the one-hand catch going with the momentum of the football. You very seldom see it on a curl route where he just puts that left hand out, stabs it, boom, thank you, got it. Tips it right back into himself. Nice.
What a play here in the first quarter from Hatcher. Stanback again up the middle, and he'll get close to 6 yards on that one.
So you look at what Jake Dolegala did after that handoff. This is something that right now Edmonton is not really paying attention to. Dolegala finishes the fake going the opposite direction. So Stanback goes that way, Dolegala finishes the fake. Now, Elliott Brown gave him a little look and then completely slid down to try to help out on the tackle on the tailback. But Dolegala can run pretty well. I mean, he's a big guy with a huge arm. He's more of a pocket passer, but he can run.
2nd and 4. Dolegala throws to his left, and that is just straight up drops by Alexander Hollins. Seemed like it was right on the numbers.
Yeah, right between them. Between the 1 and the 3. Hollins got such a great start to the season, and over the last couple of weeks been fighting it a little bit. Of course, take the Winnipeg game out because wasn't much success offensively for anybody, but you can go back a couple of games. He's been fighting it a little bit.
Sean White called into duty. He's hit 42 in a row. This one is from 42 to keep the streak alive. That kick is up, and it is good. That was close. It looked like it was going to go wide. Came back.
43.
He also remains perfect on the season. Now 25 for 25. BC Lions on top, 10-1 at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter action coming up. BC on the road trying to snap a 2-game losing streak. They lead 10-1, and they're really putting an emphasis on the running game, aren't they?
They really are. I mean, they come off that loss to Winnipeg, and I'm sure the staff took a hard look at it, and then added in the fact that Jake Dolegala is making his first start as a BC Lion and said, let's get that run game going, because it was a lot of William Stanback in the first quarter. He was getting some traction, and that brought balance to the offense. Also, Jake Dolegala is only one incompletion in the first quarter, and that was the drop by Alexander Hollins. He's been on the money.
And that was a great throw. You know, Stanback's capable of more of a heavy workload, right? They are a pass-heavy team early in the season. The VA slinging it around, but if you need Stanback, he's more than capable. Edmonton starts here after the field goal on their own 40. Ford down the field, and he's got a completion. That's back to Gittins Jr., his second catch of the ball game, and a big chunk to start this drive for Edmonton.
Nice timing. Gittins the closest receiver to Trey Ford, and that 3-receiver package into the boundary, and he's just going to run a bender over the middle, and Trey Ford from the pocket bang on the time before he can run across and through there to the safety. They've had to make that change. Bill Yu is out due to injury.
I'll hand it off. Trying to find some space. It's Leak. Spin move and some extra effort will get a round of applause from the crowd and a first down for the Elks.
We talked about that speed. With a guy like that and the breakaway speed, you can see that big offensive lineman, the big crew, as we mentioned, providing some blocking. The Elks don't have a fullback dress today. Your other partner, Dwayne Ford, he might be upset with that.
Yeah. I had to double check a couple times and say, wait a second.
They don't have a fullback, but they have 2 offensive linemen, extra offensive linemen dressed, so they can play the big group with those guys.
Ford far side. Jones has it. Flag on the play.
Well, interesting adjustment here by Trey Ford. In the series in the first quarter.
Offside. Edmonton number 11. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Virgie Mayala with the penalty.
Mayala offside, a little bit ahead of the snap. But in the first quarter, Trey Ford got contained a little bit from the defensive line of the Lions. There's Mayala up on the line of scrimmage. He was just across the line in his original alignment by 1.5 yards. But in this drive, he's thrown a couple times now from the pocket.
Backed up 5, 1st and 15. 3 options to the right, 2 to the left. Goes right over the middle to Jones. Jones protects the ball, and he's got a first down and more. Breaks a couple of tackles and takes it down inside the 15. Tevin Jones is fitting in very nicely here in Edmonton.
How about the big play last week against the Riders? The 93-yarder from Trey Ford to Tevin Jones. The big body here on the crossing route. Takes on the tackle. That was Adrian Green trying to bring him down. Gets that pad level down and takes on this contact. Protecting the football. Switch it to the outside arm. Macumbo tried to play for the strip rather than make the tackle. An extra 7 or 8 yards.
From the BC 12. Leak will take it all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Edmonton. Give him another. And a response from the home side.
This is the RPO. This is the run option with Leak going this way. Watch middle linebacker Haladic get caught. If he doesn't stay wide enough to stop Trey Ford, he's in trouble outside. Ford gives it to Leak. Now he's gone too far, and Leak has a run lane.
Beatty this time straight down the middle, and we've got a 2-point game. 5-play, 70-yard drive that took just over 2 minutes. 4th touchdown in the last 2 weeks for Javon Leak.
Let's go back and show you the bind that middle linebacker Ben Hladek is in on this play because of Trey Ford's threat to the outside and how it sets up a nice blocking angle for Filip Grahovic. Watch him, the tight end. Now, because Hladek is so concerned with Trey Ford getting outside, the tight end in this situation, Grahovic, gets a great angle on the middle linebacker in a Hladek, and that allows Leak that running lane.
This is taken by Williams, far side of the field. And Williams with flags flying. That one flag flew like 25 yards. And at least one penalty on this play. A couple flags out there. 38-yard return for Williams. We'll see if this one gets backed up a bit or if it's coming the other way.
See Coach Campbell talking to Mike Benavides, the special teams coordinator.
Illegal low block, Edmonton number 16. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Oh. Take a look at this return. Terry Williams has been kind of chipping away, and there's the low block. You can't block. That was from Bynum. You can't block below the waist in the special teams or on an interception defensively.
Instant field position after a 38-yard return, then the penalty.
Yeah.
This drive starts on the 45. Great opportunity for Dolegala, who leads 10-8 here. Dolegala with a fake. Now he's in trouble and he's taken down. Barreling through was Noah Curtis, his 5th sack of the season.
He's a guy that you can line up in the interior or you can play him at defensive end, and Noah Curtis will get it done. He's just inside, fights off the block, great hands right at the point of attack when he's trying to get picked up in the front there. I think it was Suk Chung that was trying to block him. He just swatted those hands out of the way and got right in the face of Jake Dolegala.
Curtis, 25 years old, 6'6", 302. Moved well on that one. A loss of 8. Dolegala near side. Hatcher has it, turns it upfield, lunges back to the 40. Be about 5 or 6 yards shy of a first down.
But field goal range.
Definitely.
So it's salvaged field goal position because...
But they're not bringing out the field goal unit here. Leaving Dolegala out there.
Wow. Surprised by that. Is there some wind down there that we're not... Saw that Beatty miss and the flags aren't moving.
Little bit of a breeze, but nothing that would stop you from setting up a 47-yarder for a guy who's hit 43 in a row. So they're just going to go for it. 3rd and 5 here. Dolegala over the middle, down the field for Hatcher. Missed him by a mile. And a turnover on downs.
I'll tell you what.
Interesting decision.
Yeah. And I just want to be on the record questioning the decision before it happened.
Well, not a bad idea to throw it in the direction of Keon Hatcher, but he was not able to get to this one. Turnover. Well, how about this for Edmonton? It had been a long time since they scored 42 or more. Over 2,100 days. It led to the first win for Jarius Jackson. More on that. Let's send it down to Tom Gazzola.
Yeah, Dusty, Jarius Jackson obviously super happy about his first CFL win as a head coach. He said it was awesome. He said he was really happy for his players and the coaching staff being rewarded for the win and all the hard work that they put in. Now, Jackson, too, said he got a little bit emotional, which is a bit odd considering how stoic he can be and how rawless he could be. And then Jackson said after the game that he wasn't mad about the Gatorade shower. What he was upset was the fact that Boris Beatty tricked him. He said the kicker came up to him and said, "Hey, coach, you want ice with that?" Jackson said, "What are you talking about?" And Beatty backed off. Jackson knew he'd been had. He said he'll get Beatty back at some point. But more importantly, guys, after the ceremonial hugs and high fives and everything, he said he was really happy and proud of his team for stepping up its physical play and intensity because he said in game 1 against Saskatchewan was the more physical and intense team. His team answered the call.
Found a path to victory. Now they're trying to build on it. First down on the ground with Ford. Now Ford in the pocket, far side, drops one out there. That's to his running back, League, who initially broke a tackle and I think he slipped again.
You know, and that win, by the way, and here's the trivia question: who was the starting quarterback when an Edmonton football team won its 700th win?
That is win number 700.
And it was tough to get. It was really tough to get. It was a lot of work for this staff. It cost one coach his job to try to get to that 700th win. And the answer to the trivia question is number 2.
Second franchise to get there. Calgary the first. Tight race. 2nd and 3 here. Ford, pressure in his face. It's Hladek. Ford's on the run, looking for the first down. Might have it. There's a flag in the secondary. And we'll see how that changes things.
Well, you really have to adjust your angles trying to tackle.
Illegal contact. BC number 23. 10-yard penalty. The result will be a first down.
10-yard penalty, first down. Adrian Green gets the
working there against Ergin Mayala. After the penalty, Edmonton works from the BC 43, trailing by 2. They'll hand it off. Rankin for the first time today. He's got some space, and he's got another first down as Justin Rankin contributes when he checks into the game.
Yeah, he chipped in. He did. He had 10 carries, 60 yards, and chipped in to give Javon Leake a break on a couple of the plays in a series. Compact runner, nice cut. Back from inside, back out, and first down. They'll tell you when they get the first down. Receiver or running back will tell you when they get a first down.
3 options to the left for Ford. In the pocket. Now he's got to take off in the run. Throws one up towards the end zone. Almost hauled in. Flag on the play, though. He was looking for Dylan Mitchell. Rugamba in coverage, and is this a PI?
They're battling for the ball.
Pass interference. BC number 33. The foul will call third and goal. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. Automatic.
Take a quick look. I'm sure that Rick Campbell wants to look at it too, to see if he wants to go ahead and see if there's a challenge opportunity here. That's a tough throw to make going that way. Mukumba, let's see. He's grabbing the jersey and not allowing Dylan Mitchell to elevate to that football.
As the jersey tug on the back, that would draw that
and
flag.
one on the front. Yep.
Time for Prukop into the game, looking to give them the lead, pushing it ahead. Touchdown Edmonton. Delayed call, but they get there. 7th touchdown of the season for Prukop, and Edmonton has their first lead of the ball game.
Manny Rugamba on the PI call was probably talking to himself over there on the BC sideline. He was in great position with Dylan Mitchell and really didn't have to grab him. He felt like he went up for the knockdown, and that was clean. However, he didn't allow Mitchell to jump. I don't have a problem with the call because you could see Rugamba had grabbed the jersey. No challenge, by the way, from Rick Campbell.
Yeah, he was looking at it. There's a flag here. Edmonton's taking a time count. They didn't have enough guys on the field, so they just said they let it run down, back it up, and get the right number out there and hang another 5 yards on this Beatty attempts.
Time count violation, Edmonton number 9. That penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
BC's going to have it applied on the kickoff. So it will just be the 32 straight down the middle here for Beatty. He's missed 6 field goals, but he's not missed any of these so far this season. And that one straight through as well. 6-play, 70-yard drive that took less than 3 minutes, finished by Dakota Brukop. Edmonton leads 15-10. Well, Trey Ford, 5 of 5 to start the game, 98 yards, had that shot to the end zone that drew the PI that set up the touchdown. Williams takes this right in his end zone. And will take the knee. Dolegala, 5 of 7 on the other side, throwing the ball very well.
Had the one drop from Hollins and then the overthrow to Keon Hatcher, the only 2 incompletions, but the run game been the focal point for BC, this offense.
Stanback averaging 4.4 yards per carry coming in. He's now over 100 rush attempts on the season, 44 yards on just 6 so far here today. Starts there to the left of his quarterback, and they give it to him again. Broke 1 tackle, short gain on the play. Nick Anderson is almost at 50 tackles here in his rookie season.
Well, and they're going to figure it out. I mean, between he and Niles Morgan, they're going to make the adjustments necessary after the first quarter where we saw a ton of William Stanback. So he was getting to that second level. Jason Shivers and that linebacking core is going to figure it out in the second quarter, make the adjustments.
BC 6 for 8. On second down so far, low snap. Dolegala grabs it. Has a man wide open. That is Katoy, who goes up and over for the first down. And that's his first catch here in his 6th game of the season.
Yeah, 6th game. He's missed a couple due to injury, and he's important to this offense because he does a lot. He can play tight end and is big enough and strong enough to make blocks on defensive ends. But he can also run and get involved in the passing game. And there he is. Big catch to get back into the swing of things.
Niles Morgan was down on the field.
See how they tell you when they get a first down?
He's got to do it with style, too. Katoy is an important piece of this offense. Had an excellent season last year, and not easy considering the weapons around him, but he brings something different to the table, obviously, for this team.
Well, the defense, you know, when Katoy's out there's not an automatic read. So Jordan Maximic can leave Katoy. He's basically got a tight end for the blocking in the run game. So the defense can't make a substitution to get bigger up front.
Joel DeBlanco into the game at middle linebacker, the first overall pick in the draft. Back across to Katoy again, and he's got another first down for BC.
So they don't make adjustments for the run, and then Katoy can also do this. He can get out there and he can beat you to the outside. He's got good speed and that big body.
6'5", 230. 4 options out to the left for Dolegala this time. They'll give it to Stanback. Stanback tracked down by Anderson. There's a flag on this play back towards the Edmonton secondary. They're discussing a possible horse collar tackle here.
There's no flag on the play.
And after the discussion, they'll pick that flag up.
So that never happens. I think that was Luchez Purifoy who went in there and pleaded his case, and
it worked.
He got the judgment. No, he's not talking officials out of a penalty. They just
He can share an opinion.
Yeah, he just discussed it and decided no flag.
Purifoy trying to get this crowd fired up behind the defense. 2nd and 6. Dolegala gets it away. Stand back, wrapped up immediately. That Anderson again, he's all over the place. This Edmonton defense right now.
Yeah, try to figure out exactly what this play was for Jake Dolegala. He's got protection. It looked like they tried to get a little bit of a screen out there to William Stanback because they pulled a lineman out, or was it? Yeah, it was a lineman. It was their center, Michael Couture. So they pulled him out to try and get in front. But yeah, quick pursuit from the linebackers.
Now BC's going to punt this away. It would be about a 52-yard attempt. Flintoff lays it up there. Purifoy takes it on the near sideline, lowers his head, and tries to push it back up to about the 25. Javon Leake found the end zone again here. Did it 3 times last week.
Had a 14-yard rushing average last week, and when he got in the open field, check the speed. 35.8 kilometers per hour at the top end, and runs by the Rider defense, which was the #1 defense by a landslide against the run going into that week of the season.
They were allowing less than 50 yards per game on the ground, and he lit them up for almost 170. There's a big hole right up the middle, and that's a good chunk on 1st down. We'll put him in 2nd and short.
So
Rankin again.
How fast was that, comparing it to other fast running backs in North America? Well, it was the fastest.
That DK Metcalf's a receiver and a physical specimen. And then Jonathan Taylor, Paris Campbell, a couple of Colts, Kenneth Walker, who plays down in Seattle, but none of them as fast as Javon Leake. Almost like he could be one of the better returners in the league as well, which
he is.
With Kevin Brown out, they've moved him in to the running back role, sharing it with Rankin, who pushes ahead and has a 1st down here for Edmonton with just over 3 minutes remaining in the 1st half. Leake will check back into the game. And we have hit 3 minutes here in the 1st half. Edmonton is on top 16-10 on country night here at Commonwealth. Get you on that later, Suits.
No shot.
Coming up at half, we're going to break down the quarterback play so far. We've got all your highlights from week number 10, and Jim Barker has promised to do a stunt 10 times grander than Tom Cruise did at the closing ceremony today. Right, JB?
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, little Snoop.
That's right. Yeah, we'll rap, too.
There we go.
There we go.
I don't believe it. Halftime coming up. Lots to discuss from this one. We got a good game brewing here. This is Gittins. Turned into some trouble and is wrapped up immediately.
Boy, Gittins was not happy. I'm not sure if he was upset with the officials or upset with his teammates or just flat out upset. That was great gang tackling, but look at the reaction after this play. I don't know if he looked at Mayala or who it was he was angry with, but
wanted a bit more out of that one. Lost 2. 2nd and 12. Just 3-man pressure. Ford should have some time here, but he's in trouble trying to get away. And he tracked down from behind. Tehema stayed on him. And Ford, little bit of an extra breather there. Jake Julian will kick this away.
I think it's going to be Tehama that is in chase here, and eventually is going to get his arm out right there, catch him from behind. But did Varga get...
Edmonton is challenging that there's roughing the passer. We'll review the play.
That's what I was wondering, if that hit from Varga was...
Tehama, it's not me.
No, Tehama looked clean from behind. It was the arm coming across the bow, and how high was it? It looked like it got him across the chest, but if it was anywhere near the headgear...
Let's get a look. Some sort of contact with the head. I can't tell if it was a shoulder or an arm or...
It looked like the initial contact with the left arm hit the shoulder pad and then rode up to the side of the head of Ford.
I think the top left of his shoulder pad actually hit the cage on the helmet.
Now he's a runner now out there. It's a different rule than the protection of the pocket, but
and taken Ford into the tent. He was on the sideline throwing the ball for a little bit. Now they've taken him into the tent. There he is as they get the tent set up over top of him. All right, let's figure out this ruling as MBT walks onto the field.
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field stands. Edmonton will be charged a timeout.
If that's in the pocket, it's probably a different story, right?
Exactly.
When he's out on the run.
Exactly. I think when he gets out there, he's on the run. He's basically a runner, like a tailback or a receiver with the ball in his hands. And the initial contact was to the shoulder pad. Fast-moving play.
Third and 18. Julian was set to kick it away. Williams waits. Back just inside his 30. BC's going to get the ball with about 2 minutes to go here. Good kick. Williams takes it at the 21. Williams broke one tackle, finally tripped up. He was thinking about a big one. Niles Morgan stopped him after just a 19-yard return.
And if he doesn't, there's no one else. That's the last wave. You go down in waves on the punt team. The first wave has got to try and slow the returner down, especially the returners we have in this league. And watch this tackle, because if he misses that, there is nobody left for Edmonton. A bump there, and look at that open field in front of him.
2 minutes to work for Dolagala. That one, Berryville, far side, pushed out of bounds. Did about 5 yards on that first down completion.
Now in this scenario, we may see Jake Dolagala push the ball a little bit. The only deep throw really that I can remember in this game so far is that one to Keon Hatcher where he overthrew that corner route. But I mean, the one, there's one of his great strengths for Jake Dolagala is his arm strength. I mean, he can make every throw.
I think there's a deep shot to Hollins coming at some point here.
Well, their longest so far is 14 yards.
2nd and 6, flags here.
Procedure. BC number 69. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Left tackle, Jarrell Broxton.
Left tackle out there at the top here. Just rock back in his pass pro a little bit early.
2nd and 11. Berryhill into the slot to the left of his quarterback. Dolegala down the field. It's Berryhill who he's looking for, and too much on that cannon, and it falls incomplete.
Well, you see the big arm, but you also see that this has been really the only week that Jake Dolegala has been able to take first-team reps in practice. And, you know, this type of chemistry and this type of timing and all of it takes a lot of time. I mean, he's got somebody right in his kitchen taking the hit as he lets go of that one and put it out there, just not enough air under it.
Trey Ford is out of the tent on the sideline as the offense is about to get this ball back. Cobb on the return after a 48-yard kick, drilled back to about the 30. Double Thompson trots it on the field with the offense. Trey Ford looks like he's going to be good to go. There's MBT's numbers, 0-7. The reason that he's not starting anymore. Thrown for almost 1,800 yards so far this year. Ford still does not have his helmet on. Maybe they'll leave him out for the rest of the half. Handoff here. And a nice pickup again by Javon Leak. Prukop will come in here on 2nd and short.
Well, there's still time for field goal range, so and to really run the offense. Minute 37. In other words, you don't have to just drop back and sling it.
Yeah, not really in a rush here, especially if you're thinking field goal. Beatty's got the big leg, hasn't been the most accurate of legs in the league so far this year, but he can boot it. Prukop, 2nd and short, pushing it ahead, and that'll be enough for the Edmonton first down with 1:18 on the clock.
Now the big question will be in the second half. Will Trey Ford be able to continue? It looked like he was looking for his helmet there on the sideline, but he was also kind of favoring, looked like his ribs at times.
Now he'll watch for now. Edmonton on their own 43. Cloud Bethel Thompson calling the shots on this drive. Looks over the middle, has Tevin Jones. Jones wrapped up and taken down. Ely in there on the tackle, along with Patrice Rene. That'll be another 2nd and short situation.
Boy, this is great. The playbook wide open here. You can run the ball and get a new set, or there you go.
And they will run the ball. And Leak has the first down with 54 seconds on the clock. Beatty's long on the year is 52. MBT with a fake now over the middle, back to Jones. Another first down for Edmonton. Let's send it down to Tom Gazzola for an update on Trey Ford.
Dusty, Glenn, we're watching Trey Ford. We're walking around the sidelines. He was in the tent like you guys were mentioning, and it just looks like the Elks are going to play it safe here and evaluate him at halftime with just under 40 seconds left to play, and we'll see if he's back out there for the second half for the Elks.
Something to monitor, something to discuss for the panel at halftime. MBT out to Leak, spin. Varga was there, but they'll take a loss on the play. And that would back this field goal up. 25 seconds, still enough time to move it up the field a little bit more for Beatty.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's probably what McLeod Bethel Thompson was thinking here. Just swing it out, you know, get positive yards so that they can get the very least a field goal before half.
They lose 3, 2nd and 13.
Got to hustle now.
Hand it off. Leak trying to find some space. He's wrapped up and taken down with 9 seconds on the clock.
Take the shot.
And Beatty will come out. Mentioned his season-long 52. He's also missed 6 field goals this year. This one will be from just outside 50.
So the issue with Beatty has been consistency, but the strength of Beatty is his leg strength.
No doubt that he's got the leg to knock one in from here. And he put it down the middle for a 9-point lead at the end of the first half. Beatty from 51, just inside the left hash. Julian will hold. Beatty will kick. And that looks like he's got it. More than enough. And right down the middle for Beatty. Big kick for Beatty to put Edmonton on top. 19-10 here, Glenn.
Well, a lot of discussion on Trey Ford and whether or not he'll be able to return. But in the meantime, the home team fought back, got the lead. Interesting decision by Rick Campbell early in to not get the first, or to not kick a field goal in the first half, but when he was in position. But how about the start for Leak coming off that big game where he had almost 170 yards, picking up where he left off. 9 for 50 yards rushing.
50 yards and a touchdown for Javon Leak. Edmonton scores 18 points after being down 10-1. They've hung 18.
And for Leak,
on the Lions here.
That's touchdown number 4 in a game and a half.
He's really taking advantage of this opportunity here right now with Kevin Brown hurt. And Javon Leak will settle in here for a quick chat with Tom Gazzola. Let's send it down.
All right, Javon, you guys are up 9 going into the half. It seemed like you found the rhythm that you had last week. What's working for you and what's changed for you for the last couple of weeks?
Just same thing we did last week, just be physical, be more physical to number up front, and our line's doing a great job blocking. I'm just being patient, reading the blocks.
Trey gets banged up late in that second quarter. MBT goes back in. How different is the offense for you guys if you have McLeod Bethel-Thompson or Trey Ford in?
Same thing, just Mac's not going to run as much as Trey would, so escape the pocket as much as Trey, but same offense, same guys. You know, Mac is doing a great job of reading it just like he did, so we're good either way.
Thanks for the time, Javon.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, let's set it up to Kate and the panel.
All right, Tom, back alongside Matt Dunnigan and Jim Barker, and they just talked about the 2 QBs there. McLeod Bethel-Thompson at the end of that second quarter. But for Trey Ford, I mean, this is one of the things. He's so much fun. He's so elusive. He's so athletic. But then once in a while, he gets caught in a play like that, and you kind of hold your breath. Now, normally he pops back up. But for this one, I mean, we're speculating here. He went down on the ball pretty hard. He grabbed his left ribs a little bit, and he's been grabbing them the whole time. Hopefully we'll be back in the second half. But right now, I mean, we don't know what's going on.
No, we don't. And that's just football. I don't think it's Trey Ford and him being a slight of frame or anything like that or injury prone. No, I just think it's football. And Tehima got all of them, too, right? And then you see Varga flash across his face, and there's where the flag was thrown. But Tehima, he buries him right there. He staples him right there. And, you know, that would be the thing that I would be questioning is this right here, and then the whole body weight and staple him to the ground. But that, to me, is football, Jim. And, you know, I hope the kid's fine and we can see him in the second half because he's their future. But 9 for 9, both these quarterbacks for Edmonton scoring 18 unanswered. Pretty daggone.
Well, he's such a tough kid, and he plays best outside of the pocket. I mean, he's out in the open field, and he plays fearlessly. And when you do that, you're going to be susceptible to those kind of hits. Those kind of things will happen.
That's right.
He was not looking to step out of bounds. I promise you that. He was looking to cut back, and the guy came, got his shoulder.
It reminded me of Jake Mayer from Calgary when they're playing against Toronto this week. In hot pursuit, we had Flair and Arenalade, and Jake kind of forgot about him back there, and he fumbled the football in that situation. And then to me, right here, you got guys in hot pursuit. You just can't feel like you've beaten them with your speed. They're coming coming hard, and they want to hit you like no tomorrow because you are so elusive.
And that is something you have to learn as a young quarterback is how fast the defensive linemen are up here. It's way different than anywhere else in the world.
But you're right. But if you're that's what I was saying too. If they can catch you, he's out of the pocket. I mean, you know, stuff happens. I know it's a football play, but again, too, exactly. So hopefully Trey is okay. But let's go to Jake Dolegala. We constantly talk about Jordan Mick-Simic and what he does in this league. And you know what? Just developing that play at the start of the game, it seemed like a perfect formula. You had the run game with William Stanback, and then you had the high percentage throws, and it was a really nice long drive. And you probably just need more of this with Dolegala right now.
He needs to go back to that recipe. This first drive, he takes it, he's going to hand the ball off, and they're going to get 5, 6, 7, 8. Sometimes they got 10 and 11 yards. But when they're in 2nd and 5 situations, he can throw these kind of passes that he's going to be very good at. He's tall, he can see over the line. Down here, you're going to see the, same thing. Ripping off runs, now puts him in down to the 1-yard line. When they run that kind of thing for Jake Dolegala, it gives him an opportunity. When they, if as long as they stick to that type of plan, I'm sorry, I said that kind of thing.
No.
But that kind of a plan, that kind of a plan can win with this guy. Jake's biggest problem, as I remember from last year against Saskatchewan, is throwing the ball deep. When he throws the ball deep, which is a big part of what BC's been with VA, is those deep seam throws and those kinds of things. That's not what Jake does well.
Yeah, and it's surprising too, because he's 6'7", long levers, getting all that to work together quickly, and those short throws, he's been doing a nice job of it. Deep ball's been a problem for him since he's been in the league. It worked on his motion, but at the end of the day, I don't understand going for 3rd and 5 and throwing it 35 yards downfield, right, Kate? But when you look at what's going on the other side, and Javon Leake's meaningful time in the last 2 games for this football team and his numbers, and yes, he's the beneficiary of this kid, and that's handing the ball off to him, and speed will kill you, and he is making that offensive line, along with Trey Ford, just a whole lot better than they were in the first part of the season, and Javon Leake is reaping the rewards, and Trey Ford's not even getting on his horse off the edge there once he hands the ball off, and still linemen are getting to the 2nd level because they have to contain with Trey Ford. So a lot going on there with their offense in the last couple of weeks with number 2 behind the center, and it's helping everyone. And let's just hope we get to see him play in the second half. If not, we heard Leake talk about it.
Doesn't matter. Next man up.
That's it.
Next man up. So Leake was a fantastic first half. He had 50 yards on the ground, already 1 TD, picking up exactly where he left off. Elks currently up by 9. More after this. Highlights from week number 10. Riders taking on the Red Blacks, picking up an overtime. Ottawa down by 3. Dustin Crum gets sacked. Riders recover the fumble to end the game. But wait a minute. Linebackers Jacoby McLean flagged for roughing the passer after rolling into Crum's legs, keeping the drive alive. Lewis Ward drills the short field goal, resulting in the first CFL tie game since 2017. Everyone was super happy after that game. Just like super pleased with the results. Stampeders Argonauts on Friday, 4th quarter, 1-point game. Jake Mayer picked off by Deshaun Amos. He'll take it all the way back to the house for a 55-yard pick 6. Show me my money. Mayer's 2nd straight game with an interception. Toronto wins. Nick Arbuckle's first start of the season, 39-25, your final. Tiger Cats taking on the Montreal Alouettes last night early in the first. Bo Levi Mitchell going to be intercepted here by Darnell Sankey. Mitchell only saw 2 possessions before getting benched. Still in the first. Owls up by 6. Davis Alexander, he's going to hit Charleston Rambo on a deep ball. Touchdown. One of Alexander's 2 passing TDs. He had 5 on the season to only 1 interception so far. The Alouettes take it 33-23. Some news to pass along. Ottawa Red Blacks head coach Bob Dice confirmed on Sunday that quarterback Jeremiah Masoli will start in place of the injured Drew Brown. The 35-year-old veteran's last start was over a year ago against Hamilton, where he suffered a ruptured left Achilles tendon and is yet to appear in a game this season. The Red Blacks will play the Calgary Stampeders on Thursday night. Of course, you can watch that on TSN pregame, 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. I've got more news. The Atlanta Falcons have released Canadian quarterback Nathan Rourke. Rourke played in the Falcons' preseason game against the Dolphins, where he finished 3 of 13 for 37 yards. Rourke was released by the Patriots earlier this year and then released by the Giants in late July before ending up in Atlanta. So the Nathan Rourke watch is officially back on. But for now, we have the second half of the football game to play. This one's been great so far. Elks currently up by 9. We'll get you back to Commonwealth after this.
Second half coming up. Edmonton leads 19-10 over the BC Lions. 63 rushing yards for BC in that first half. And William Stanback is standing by with Tom Gazzola.
William, lots of time left in this football game. You guys are within striking distance of the Elks. What can you say about that first half? What'd you like, maybe what you not like about that first?
We felt good coming out. We felt like we executed at a high level. We just got to stay with it and stick with it. We had a few opportunities that we missed that we should have capitalized on, but we're going to bounce back. We're going to give everything we got and keep fighting.
Jake Dolegala coming in, big shoes to fill with Vernon Adams being out, but how is he handling things, and how different is it when you got a guy that's 6'7" compared to a guy that's 6 feet at the helm at QB?
Well, you know, the height don't really matter. You know, as long as you can play that quarterback position and lead us to the promised land, that's all we can ask for as an offensive unit. You know, he came in, he's doing what he got to do. You know, he's promising and he's poised. You know, we got his back, and we just ready to just try to get this dub, man. You know what type of team they are. Their record doesn't show what type of guys they have over there, but we just got to keep fighting all the way to the end, and that's the only thing.
William, thanks for the time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
It's a 9-point lead for Edmonton as we get set to kick off the third quarter. Developing Trey Ford's story. We'll have more on that here momentarily as Beatty is about to hammer it away, and the BC Lions will have first crack at it here in the second half. Williams at the 15. Finds some space, spins, stays on its feet, and eventually taken down. Here's the latest on Trey Ford. Does not look like he's good to go, and it's nothing to do with the head. It's something to do with the core or the shoulder here, Suits. He's wincing as he throws.
Yeah, it was the shoulder and the rib cage, and you know, very emotional Trey Ford. By all of that reaction and just his reaction to trying to warm up, it doesn't look like he's going back in. Now, Lions start with the ball here.
He went back again after the emotions on the bench and threw a little bit more, but it looks like it's MBT's game now. Dolegala down the field, finds McInnes, who takes it inside the 40. And a big strike to start for Dolegala. That should put him over 100 yards in the ball game.
When Keon Hatcher came back to the Lions lineup, he went back to his position, which is where Justin McInnes was playing when he was leading the league, still leading the league coming in. To close the gap when he didn't have a catch last week, because they moved him to the other side of the field.
Now the handoff. Stanback trying to stretch it out, but Morgan and Anderson will not allow it.
Now, it wasn't the reason for him not getting a catch last week. That wasn't the issue, but it's just getting used to, again, a different spot in the lineup. He's on the trip side primarily now, but that last catch over the middle, he went back to that Keon Hatcher side, the short side of the field, where he works with Alexander Hollins.
2nd and 9 on the Elks 36 for Dolegala. Edmonton will bring 4. Dolegala gets it away, and that falls incomplete over the head of Hollins. Had Eberhardt down the sideline as well. Not sure who that one was going to.
Dolegala pointed to himself, so clearly the routes were correct. This was the play. The time was there for him to throw, and he kind of threw it in between, didn't he? It went over Holland's head and in front of the go row.
Sean White has hit 43 in a row. This to make it a 6-point game. High snap. White puts it up as smooth as ever and knocks it through. Give him 44 in a row and 26 for 26 on the season. The streak continues for Sean White, most accurate kicker in league history. Well, let's bring you up to speed on Trey Ford. This is the play where he was hurt.
And I don't think it was Varga across the shoulder pads there, but it looked like from Tehema from behind, he may have landed right on the ball, and then he favored his ribs. Now, there's the emotion that we saw, finally getting his opportunity, leading the team to their first win. But I would suggest that he's QB1 moving forward.
Cloud Bethel Thompson hands it off to Leak, and Leak has nowhere to go.
At least as soon as he's healthy, and we'll have to see probably after the game to what extent the injury is. But you can see the defense plays differently.
Rugamba with the tackle there. Second and 11 after a loss of 1 for McLeod Bethel Thompson. MBT far side, and that's a first down as he finds Javon Leak. And Edmonton quarterbacks have not thrown an incomplete pass yet in this game. Both of them perfect.
Leak's going to come out of the backfield. He's in that tailback spot. He's just going to automatically, he's not looking to chip or pick up a block or anything, just get right out there in front of TJ Lee and get right to the sticks.
Edmonton will work from their own 52. They'll move MBT out to his right, looking down the field. Dylan Mitchell has it, and he is close to another Edmonton first down.
So now the receiving core kind of changes their mindset just a little bit. The plays are the same, you know, and the playbook looks the same. They're going to call it probably very similar, but the receivers now have to think about precision and timing and being right where they need to be, because that's what McLeod Bethel Thompson is, a timing quarterback.
That's how he operates.
Yeah, with Trey Ford, you're always alive, keep moving, because he'll scramble, and you just got to find a spot. A little bit of a different mindset.
Second and just mere inches here. Prukop into the game on the second and short, and that'll be enough as he barrels through down towards the BC 45.
It seems like a slightly more relaxed McLeod Bethel Thompson with a little peace sign to our camera running on the field.
Well, this is why MB2, who not happy with losing his starter's job, has to stay ready, has to be focused, and now you've got a veteran coming in off the bench. They'll give it to Leak again, and Leak just gets gobbled up immediately. About half a yard on the play.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with that you got to stay ready, and it's disappointing. I mean, this is a veteran quarterback. He's been on a lot of teams in 5 different leagues and has a Grey Cup ring, and, you know, led the Argos to the East Final in that big win in the Grey Cup, and, you know, Chad Kelly helped in that game, but he's got a lot of pride, and he's got to be ready, and it looks like he has been preparing and ready to go, and hasn't missed one yet.
Second and 9 here, empty backfield. MBT from the pocket, down the field, hauled in by Jones. He bobbles it, but then he gobbles it up here in Edmonton.
Well, that's great concentration by Tevin Jones. He's going to run this bender right into the middle, a little bit of a post going to the middle, and then he just keeps the ball alive. Looks like TJ Lee may have got the worst of that one. That's a big guy. This is a big receiver at 230 pounds and 6'2". He's built now, solid build. And TJ Lee goes down to hit him low.
Back-to-back 100-yard games for Tevin Jones. 2 starts, goes for 100 both times. TJ Lee is down. We'll step away.
I know. The thing is, you ain't seen though.
So that's TJ Lee that's going to need some attention. Look like it may be a hip pointer, or may have got a knee in the back. Christophe Beaulieu is already out. Moved Adrian Green over, and then Patrice Rene came on the field. We've seen Savarga at linebacker as well.
They'll toss it back. Looking for some space. Gittins reaching out. Decent pickup on first down. It'll be second and manageable with Edmonton within striking distance again.
Thank you.
I'm sure Gittins had a conversation with whomever he was upset with in that first half after a bubble screen didn't go very well. Got some blocks there.
He's a guy you can move around. Yep. Your offense, versatile piece for Jarius Jackson. Got 8 yards on that play. Second and 2. Leak stands in to the left of MBT. Cloud Bethel Thompson on the run to his right. Puts it towards the end zone. Was that intercepted? What a play. Ciante Evans, they're having a discussion here, and it is. Evans takes it away. You heard him say, that's a pick, and it was. Cloud Bethel Thompson on the run to his right, sends one towards the end zone. Mayala and Gino Lewis both there. Evans, no doubt about it.
I think the intended target here on this interception was Herji Mayala, who came from the far side of the field. There were 2 Elks right beside the throw. We've said many times that a receiver comes up with a catch in double coverage. How about a DB coming up with a catch in double catches? 2 receivers, which is not by design how you draw it up, but Eugene Lewis got back there with Mayala, and Ciante Evans won the jump ball.
Second interception of the season for Ciante Evans. Now Dolagala out to his right, and he'll be wrapped up and taken down by Niles Morgan, but did pick up a few yards on his own accord.
That's a big pick. The timing of the game, chance to basically take away points from Edmonton. They were in field goal range.
The first incompletion of the game for an Edmonton quarterback. Dolagala got 5.
Fairness to McLeod Bethel Thompson, he had 2 guys there, thought they could win the jump ball. One was Gino Lewis.
Dolagala guns that one in there, and Javon Catoy will hang on. A lot of zip on that pass from the big quarterback.
Catoy is going to slide in from outside and run a quick out here. I'll tell you what, these Edmonton linebackers, Nick Anderson and Niles Morgan, are around the ball every play.
Fresh set of downs from the BC 40. Dolagala again. And this time Hollins has it, hangs on, and he's got a first down. That's his first catch of the ball game.
Yeah, and this is the strength of Dolagala's arm. I know it's not a long throw, but in this slant, it's got to be on him immediately, because the downhill break coming could take it the other way on those quick slants, and that's Kai Gray's got a couple this year.
First and 10. That one complete as well, and it's Hatcher who stays on his feet for an extra 6 or 7 yards, and Dolagala has this BC offense moving.
Yeah, quick passing game for Dolagala, putting 3 into the boundary a bunch, and the second one is Keon Hatcher. He's just going to sit down. Now the progression in this play is the double moves, curl and go, out and up.
Back on the ground, stand back, pushes ahead. You're right about Anderson or Morgan. One of them is involved in every single play for this Edmonton defense.
Just quick close by Niles Morgan there.
Coming into the week, CFL tackle leader with 56. BC needs 4 more. They'll use Stanback again. He's got it. And Stanback with a nice move. Takes it down inside the 20 to the 15 before he's tackled by Moncrief. And Stanback pushing up over 70 yards now.
2 good football players in Niles Morgan and Stanback, but this time Morgan had Michael Couture to deal with. He had that center, got down into the second level, got his hands on the linebacker and opened up that lane for William Stanback.
Stanback again found a hole and is wrapped up just shy of the 10. Kai Gray comes over to make the tackle, and it'll be second and about 4, maybe 5 here for BC.
Boy, this looks very similar, this drive, to their first drive of the game.
Yep.
That ended in a touchdown. Stanback left, Stanback right, a couple quick passes, back to Stanback.
Toy, Berryhill, empty backfield. Dolagala looks to his left, throws that way, but it's low at the feet of Stanback.
Stanback has caught a couple, and this was a throw that was probably, Jake Dolagala deciding that they're in field goal range because the coverage was tight. That was Nick Anderson. We just mentioned Niles Morgan, Nick Anderson being around the ball, and Nick Anderson was right there, almost trailing William Stanback. If he throws that just a tad behind Stanback, I think Anderson takes it the other way. That looked like Dolagala decided, hey, we got a field goal here. Let's chip away at the lead.
Chip shot for Sean White from 18 yards. And that one is up and through. 45 in a row for Sean White. And we've got a 3-point ball game here in Edmonton. Flintoff the hold. Sean White, steady as she goes. Lots of talk about the Trey Ford injuries. He still works on things. BC's banged up as well. For more on that, let's send it down to Tom Gazzola.
A slew of injuries for the BC Lions right now, guys. Ben Hladic, linebacker, out for the game. Calf injury there. Christoph Beaulieu, DB for the Lions. He's out with an ankle injury. And then TJ Lee, we saw him go down shortly not long ago, and he is still being evaluated in the tent right now by the BC Lions athletic therapy staff. And then as for Trey Ford, the Elks official word is he is continuing to be evaluated.
Thank you, Tommy. 3 starters out on the defense for now for the BC Lions.
So Jordan Perryman goes in at corner. He's number 27 down the bottom of your screen, and they move Ciante Evans in at halfback. Looks like Adrian Green at safety.
I'll hand it off. Leak spinning, staying on his feet. He's got a first down. Again, that's his best run of the second half.
And no Ben Hladic at middle linebacker, so that's big Ryder Varga in there. Now Varga can play. I mean, he's very good linebacker to the University of Regina, but he's not Ben Hladic. And no surprise that the Elks try and run the ball right at that makeshift linebacking core.
4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Bob Ethel Thompson right up the middle again with Leak, and he'll get about 7 or 8 more on that first down carry. When he gets going, doesn't he?
Yeah, and they also have Ace Ely, who subbed in on first down there, and ran right at him as well. So
Eight yards for Leak. 2nd and 2.
not seeing Bolacumbo out there at all either. So it's a bunch of them.
MBT back to Leak. Tackle made for a loss. Busting right through the middle of the defense to Hema. And he's been trouble today for the Elks.
Well, you want a veteran to step up, a long-time starter, 3rd year for Tehema, and you need these guys, if you're the BC Lions, to step up with a bunch of youngsters now playing in the secondary and making changes and trying to figure out, like, before every snap of the football for Edmonton there, I watched the secondary just talking and trying to get lined up right and getting organized. Ryan Phillips is going to earn his paycheck tonight.
Tehema has his 2nd sack of the season. Led the team in tackles for a loss. Coming in with 4. He can tack on another one there. 3rd and 5. Julian will let it go just outside his own 45. Hangs it up there. Williams takes it just inside the 10. Williams this time nowhere to go. Short return just outside that BC 15. This is pretty cool moment.
I think you were doing something
Yeah.
this way. You had a few games. Did you do a few games?
I'm familiar, 14. I'm familiar with these kids. They are the gold medal champions. Canada from the Holinka Gretzky here on a day off, having some fun down on the field, and then a little visit from Trey Ford as he headed over to Rogers Place. Great event. And congratulations,
Nice.
3 years in a row for that team.
Nice job, partner. What was it? What was the total? 14 in 11 days?
17 if you include football games.
Okay.
Here's stand back.
Just the 17
Just
games
17,
calling
yeah.
in 11 days. Well, I'm glad you got gas in the tank, because it looks like we're going to have a finish here.
It should be a good one, I think.
Going into the 4th quarter in a 3-point game with lots of changes. Linebackers flying around for Edmonton. Dalagala scratching away, grinding.
Dalagala takes this one down the field, over the middle. Tight window for Hatcher, but defended well. Darius Bratton among others there for the Elks.
Yeah, Dalagala just relied on the strength of his arm on this throw. He's got the strength to fit it into a tight window, that's for sure, but there was some coverage. I mean, there were 3 guys around that throw, and Hatcher had a crack at it. He knows it. Yeah, I'd like the courage to give it a shot. Hatcher had a chance.
End over end. Taken by Cobb. Near sideline after a 48-yard kick. He takes it back over midfield. Decent field position for Edmonton. Well, excellent field position here for McLeod Bethel Thompson, trying to bounce back after that interception in the end zone. Rankin up the middle. And Varga was there to wrap him up after a pickup of about 3 yards.
Club Ethel Thompson has an opportunity here to earn the trust of his teammates again. And it's probably even bigger than this game. It's sort of the season for him. You gotta earn the trust back, coaching staff for sure, but I think they've always believed in him. Which is why it went to 7 games before the change was made.
2nd and 7 here. MBT down the field, drops it in there, and it's held on to Tevin Jones again. Jones has been thrown 9 passes this season. He's caught them all.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to win a jump ball as receiver, and sometimes you just got to block out the DB that's coming after you. You know there's one coming. Just get that big body in front of him, shield the ball. And this is the type of throw that McLeod Bethel Thompson can make, and if he makes enough of them, he does earn the trust of his teammates back.
Tough to find a spot in this receiving group when you've got the talent that they already have, but an injury to Arkell Smith has opened up a chance for Jones, and he's made the most of it. MBT will be throwing again. He's in trouble, gets it away as he's hit and taken down, and that falls just short of Rankin. And we've got a good one here on a Sunday evening in Edmonton. The home side down their starting quarterback, but they lead by 3 with the fourth quarter coming up. Don't go anywhere. Three points separated these teams earlier in the year. 3 points separates them right now after 3 quarters. Edmonton on top 19-16 with the quarterback trying to hang on to a lead here.
Well, trying to hang on to a lead, trying to earn back the confidence of his team around him, the offense around him. They're still going to Devon Leak, which is a good thing. McLeod Bethel-Thompson has the 1 interception in plus territory. So, you know, this is a chance for him to go out and really get his first win in this close game. He didn't start the game, obviously. Just joining us, Trey Ford, injured in the first half, has not returned.
They had a 16-10 lead when Ford left, 19-10 at the half, and lead 19-16 right now. Looking to put some points on the board is MBT. Pressure right in his face, got it away again. Ely was coming in hot right down the middle.
Well, this is where Ryan Phillips can just change his complete approach, and that is just like send pressure, and get after McLeod Bethel-Thompson, because you know where he's going to be. He's going to be back there in the pocket. They do roll him out occasionally, but he'll be back there in the pocket for the most part, and doesn't have the same ability to escape. So there's no spies necessary. You don't have to be real careful of contain. Get after the quarterback. That's where McLeod, to beat that, has to go hot.
34-yard attempt for Boris Beatty for a 6-point lead. And that one is up and through, and Edmonton goes on top by a little bit more. 22-16. Here's a look at week 11, starting with the delicious New York Fries Thursday Night Football. Red Blacks and Stampeders. Alouettes in Regina to take on the Riders. Edmonton begins a 3-game road trip out in Hamilton, and then the Bombers and Lions. Bombers coming off a bye week after shutting out the Lions.
Hey, it doesn't say delicious on the board here. You added the delicious part of the New York Fries.
Just whenever I see New York Fries, I see the word delicious.
Yeah,
right in front of it.
I know what you mean.
I got you, New York Fries. Dolegala finds his fullback, Mackey, and he's wrapped up after a pickup of about 6.
Well, the success for the Lions tonight has really been centered around getting the ball to William Stanback. That was a play-action fake to him, and then a little throw to Mackey. But when they've had the good drives, it's been led by William Stanback.
Dolegala has looked after the ball, 14-20, 146 yards so far. No TDs, no picks. That one, far side, dropped. Berryhill was thinking about turning it up the far side of the field, but he didn't hang on.
Yeah, he was. And, you know, that's 2 plays that I remember. One from Alexander Hollins, and now one from Berryhill that, you know, are ideal throws. That's exactly where you want the ball. You can protect yourself from a hit from behind, get that ball, and then turn around, maybe get a yard or 2 after the catch. And Berryhill just forgot about one thing. He forgot to bring the mail with him.
Flintoff to let it fly. This is a big kick. Purifoy takes it just inside the 10. A 54-yard kick from Flintoff, who's averaging about 48.8 on the season. Now, some sad news a couple of weeks ago. Waddell Smith passing away, 5-time Grey Cup champion, huge part of the dynasty. Well, both of these teams with Punjab broadcasts available. BC bringing their crew on the road, which doesn't happen all the time.
Two teams in the CFL and getting to a completely different fan base. That's one thing about our game. It's very inclusive. Everyone's welcome. Come and be a fan. Enjoy it. Watch it. It's exciting, entertaining, and you're watching world-class athletes.
More eyes, more ears. Never gonna hurt.
Best crowd of the year here in Edmonton. There he goes.
Finds a hole near side, out to the 25. A big burst. See how dangerous he is when there's any sort of space out there.
Well, you have to be gap responsible against this guy. What that means up front is that you got to take those gaps. A gap, B gap, C gap. A gap between center guard, B gap between guard and tackle, and C gap outside. And good blocking opened up that B gap, and look at Leak. You give him that kind of space and he's allowed to get to top end speed, and he's going to outrun a bunch of angles.
Took it up to the Edmonton 28. That one quickly over the middle, and it's hauled in by Gittins Jr. First down for the home side.
This is how McLeod Bethel-Thompson beats the blitz. Trey Ford beats it by escaping. There's the blitz coming. McLeod Bethel-Thompson beats it by taking the hot route. Now, Javon Leak made a block there on the blitz, but that's the hot route to get it out of the hands of a drop back quarterback.
So a few different guys doing their job on that play.
Exactly.
Another first down, got exactly 10. And you could tell that these flags were coming. 4 of them on the field here.
Procedure. Edmonton number 69, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Brett Boyko threw it all off. And it'll be a 1st and 15.
A lot of juggling going on there for Ryan Phillips, defensive coordinator for the Lions.
It can't be easy when you lose a few bodies. 2 or 3 starters out here for BC.
I do see TJ Lee back.
Wide open, Gittins turns it upfield, knows what he needed, and what he got was a first down up to the 50.
So that short side of the secondary for the Lions, TJ Lee and Gary Peters is back together, and that's where they throw the ball.
Fresh set for the Elks. Long way to go here in this one. Over 11 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. On the ground, great tackle. Ely lunged out, wrapped the Leak up, held him to about a yard.
Yeah, he got this play from behind. Came from off the line of scrimmage and just with sheer speed caught Leak from behind before he could get started. And he's clearly got some music going on in the helmet. No, that doesn't.
Staying calm and cool. Rookie out of Georgia Tech. Rankin, the rookie out of Kent State, back in at running back is Javon Leak chatting on the sidelines. NBT lays it out there for Lewis, broken up by Peters. That's a fun battle to watch. Gino Lewis does not have a catch in this game. That's the first time he's been targeted.
Well, this is another way you can do it because he wins a lot of these jump balls and has throughout his career. So, if you're McLeod Bethel-Thompson, you're feeling a little bit of pressure, throw it up there, 50-50 ball, and see if Gino can come down with it. But that's one of the best DBs in the league right there, covering him. So you're right. That's a great matchup. 2 pros going at it, and you give that one to Peters.
3rd and 9. Punting situation for Edmonton. Julian gets it away. He's hit, and there's a flag on the play.
That's a new set of downs.
And this one is a no doubter. Giuliano Felanico.
Getting in the lineup, Giuliano getting in the lineup too.
Contacting the kicker, BC number 79. 10-yard penalty. The result will be a first down.
Getting a chance to be in a bit of a rotation, and there's no question here. Hunter, kind of like the quarterback, is protected in a big way through the rules, and he knows it.
Edmonton leads 22-16. And the offense will stay on the field after this.
First chance in the lineup for Giuliano Felanico, and this is not how you want to make your debut. A penalty that keeps the Elks offense on the field, and he knew it immediately. The kickers are protected, especially with the leg in the air.
Handoff up the middle. Decent pickup on first down. Like to welcome our viewers who just finished watching NASCAR on TSN 5. You got here just in time for what should be a good finish at Commonwealth in Edmonton.
Javon Leake back in the game. That's good to see for Edmonton fans. Play from Justin Rankin. On first down, picks up 4. And Leake's back in.
Leaks at 85 yards with a touchdown today. Stanback's got 87 on the other side. That's his high game on the season. Previously 83. MBT near side, and that'll be a first down. Gittins again. No surprise of McLeod Bethel-Thompson targeting his favorite guy.
No, it isn't. And, you know, when he was the starter, it was Curly Gittins, especially on those second down plays. He leads the team with 17 of them to move the chains. That's another one. And was targeted 59 times coming in.
Leads the team in both catches and targets.
Work together in Toronto.
Now from the BC 38. 10th play of this drive. There's a helmet bouncing around out there. And Leake tried to bounce it out, but he was wrapped up. Archibald and Varga. Varga's been around it a bit since being thrown into action here. That's the center, Mark Cordy. Put his lid back on.
Yeah, they're going to settle in. And again, it's a different game plan. Just trying to cancel the gaps and get McLeod Bethel-Thompson in second and long. But right now they're in field goal range.
Field goal would make it a 9-point game. 2nd and 12. MBT would like to keep this offense on the field. From the BC 40. Looks to his left. Now across far side. Leak wide open. He's got a first down inside the 25. Close to the 20 before he steps out. Wide open Javon Leak.
The Lions, you can see they're back with depth. They're going to drop into a zone, and Leak now is going to get underneath that zone from the backfield. McLeod Bethel-Thompson waits a few counts. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Waits for those linebackers and DBs to drop in their zone, and then hits the under one to Javon Leak and let him do some heavy lifting.
Over 100 total yards of offense for Leak, following up a brilliant performance last week that led to a win. The edge of the red zone here. Leak staying on his feet, secures the ball, grinds it out for about 3 yards.
We talked about him as a returner in Toronto and just how good he was there. That was really one of the reasons that Edmonton brought him in and signed him here with the Elks. But whether you're covering kicks or returning them, you want to get in the starting lineup. You either want to be in starting offense or the starting defense. And Leak has certainly worked his way into that role, hasn't he?
Outside of a few fumbles early in the season, he's been outstanding for this team. He'll watch now. Justin Rankin checks back into the game. 2nd and 7. 4 options out to the wide side right here for MBT. Looks in that direction. Now he steps up, dumps it off. That's his running back, Rankin. Down to the 10, the 5, pushing through. Touchdown! His first in the Canadian Football League. Edmonton on top by a dozen.
Some real good decisions by McLeod Bethel-Thompson in this drive as well to, step up the field but keep his eyes up and find his tailback, who is going to make a couple of guys miss in the open field and maybe turn that little swing and little check down into a touchdown, which is exactly what happened. Just the throw to Javon Leak underneath. Some really good decisions by a veteran quarterback.
And a penalty at midfield that kept this drive alive.
Absolutely.
Ends up in the end zone. 13 plays, 97 yards, 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Rankin in just his 2nd game with Edmonton, 60 yards last week. He's got a touchdown here tonight. Now they'll go for 2. Flags. Nice one-handed catch by Gino Lewis, but won't count.
Well, I think McLeod Bethel-Thompson's asking why they blew it dead if it was against BC, but
it's against Edmonton.
Yeah, I was going to say if it's against Edmonton.
Procedure. Edmonton number 68. 5-yard penalty will repeat the 2-point convert.
Yeah, so that's why they blew it down and stopped the play.
A little more challenging for 2 now.
Yeah, and you can't change your mind.
No switcheroo here.
No. Got to go for 2 when you declare that's what you're doing. That hurts even more, that penalty.
Coming into this game, averaging 27 points per game. It's the 3rd highest scoring team in the league. Looking for 2 more. MBT hit as he throws. There's a flag in the end zone here. So this is not over just yet. And it's against the BC Lions.
Illegal contact. BC number 24. Half the distance to the goal. We'll retry the convert again. 2-point convert.
So they moved it back. Now another penalty the other way. They'll move it back up. It'll be a 2-point try from the 4.
Curly Giddens was the intended target. There's the Rene Patrice with the illegal contact. It was minimal, but it was beyond 5 yards.
They'll go again here. Gets it away quickly, and that'll be 2. Dylan Mitchell from MBT in the lead is 14 with just over 5.5 to play. McLeod Bethel-Thompson coming into this game for the injured Trey Ford has a passing touchdown, and Rankin has his first in the league.
You always hear the game may come down to 1 or 2, maybe 4 plays that are the difference makers. Maybe this is one of them. That's Giuliano Felinenko, the defensive lineman, first time on the roster for the BC Lions with a roughing the kicker. That extended the drive, allowed McLeod Bethel-Thompson to continue the drive. He hits Rankin for a touchdown and a 2-point convert and a 14-point lead.
Dolegala will have some work to do here. Williams takes it just inside the 5. Back to the 20. taking down Jones and Morgan there for Edmonton.
Great DNA here. That's the long snapper Kyle Nelson for the BC Lions. His grandfather, Roger Nelson, Hall of Famer in the Canadian Football League, played back for the Edmonton Eskimos at that time, 1954 to the late 60s, inducted in 1986 into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. And Kyle Nelson, the family tradition in the game of football in Canada.
Dolegala, pocket collapses. He spins out of it and misses Katoy. I thought they were going to get to him. Still got the pass off.
Well, the time on the clock and the now the difference in the score means that Dolegala's got to. It doesn't take William Stanback completely out of the equation yet, but definitely is going to have to make some big plays down the field to come back in this one. And Edmonton knows that.
Second and 10. Dolegala with time down the field for Hatcher. No, incomplete. Was working on Bynum. Cordell Jackson came over to help. And that'll bring up third down, and Flintoff will come out to kick it away.
Devondrick Bynum plays this with great composure because this ball is on the money to Hatcher. I mean, this is a beautiful throw to the wide side, big arm right to him. But watch the composure as Bynum catches up, plays the hands of Hatcher. He's not worried about looking back to the ball. As soon as Hatcher goes up with his hands up, he puts his hands right in the middle of those hands and knocks it down. That's great composure when the ball arrived.
Flintoff, not a good kick. Is going to bounce up near midfield. Purifoy will grab it. And
no yards.
No yards flag right there after just a 31-yard kick from Flintoff. He'd like a do-over on that.
Let's just sort of reset. The BC Lions are staring the third straight loss in a row to a Western opponent.
BC 24, 15-yard penalty, first down.
They lost their first game of the year, won 5 in a row. They were sitting at 5-1, possibly falling to 5-4 here today if they don't come back.
And the last three, if this lead stands, and the last three have been Western opponents, so those are the 4-point games. The two you don't get, the two the other team gets, and it puts Edmonton been desperate first for their first win, which they got last week against Saskatchewan in Mosaic Stadium, and then this one. And Vernon Adams, we're hearing is week to week.
Would he be back for the Bombers next week, as Winnipeg will be coming off a bye and going out for a big one against the Lions in Vancouver? After the penalty and the poor kick, just 16 net yards, the switch here. So excellent field position. They'll give it to Leak. Leak hangs on to it, gets about 3 yards.
Timeout, BC. Timeout, BC.
Use it before the 3-minute warning.
Weren't going to have it anyway, so they'll use it here, try to save some time for themselves. Edmonton, though, pretty much in field goal range already, which would make it a 17-point game. Things were going so well during that 5-game winning streak for the Lions. They looked like monsters out in the West.
Well, they bounced back, in a lot of ways from the Winnipeg game, because that was just a dominant performance by the Bombers. And they didn't, like I mentioned off the top, 4 first downs offensively.
Bob Bevel-Thompson will want to take care of the football here. Gets that away, and that's going to be a first down. Dylan Mitchell hauls that one in, his 3rd catch of the game.
Yeah, that's exactly the game plan now for McLeod Bethel Thompson. Just grind the clock down, get to the 3-minute warning. They're in field goal range again, so they can make it a 3-possession game.
How about Tevin Jones here? 123 yards last week. His first start. He's got 123 yards again tonight.
That's a nice ad.
3 catches on 3 targets last week, 6 catches on 6 targets this week. And he's become a good part of their special teams.
And he can block.
That's what he's in there to do now as they hand it off. And Leak. Excellent yardage on first down. Give him about 7.
Yeah, they bring...
3 minutes remaining here at Commonwealth. Edmonton on top by 14, looking for the rare win at home. Well, it's a bit hard to believe, but week 11 is almost upon us. Thursday night football, presented by the delicious New York Fries, kicks off with the Red Blacks and Stampeders. Pre-game coverage 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain, only on TSN. And how about that guy?
Jeremiah Mazzoli.
Yep. Good to see him get back on the field. Edmonton, last time they won at home was the Labor Day rematch, September 9th of last year. So it's been a while for the home fans. I'd like to see him hang on here. Bethel Thompson, 14 of 18, 171 yards, touchdown and an interception since coming into the game for the injured Trey Ford. Hands it off to Leak. He kind of snuck his way into a crowd there.
See where they marked this, but I think it should be close enough to go short yardage. Even inside a yard. McLeod Bethel Thompson talking to Jarius Jackson right on the sideline. And
I'm going field goal here, man. Okay, field goal.
we're less than a yard short. And it's not a bad idea to kick a field goal here, go 3 possessions.
You go up 17. Yeah, pretty much game over.
And I think McLeod Bethel Thompson was just adding the thought to his head coach. Just, you know, if we get the first, we can grind some more clock down, and then, you know, see where we go from there. But
take a 3-possession game, man.
No question. I like the idea. I like the choice.
Beatty from 30 puts it up and through. And Edmonton now 33-16, more than doubling up the BC Lions.
Now, you know, this one looks like Edmonton's going to get win number 2. Trey Ford left in the first half after this hit. And, you know, I would suggest that moving forward that Trey Ford is going to be treated as the starter depending on his health moving forward in the next couple of weeks, and McLeod Bethel Thompson will be the quarterback off the bench as long as he's healthy to go. Trey Ford very emotional on the sideline. His injury is going to derail for now his opportunity, but you know, I think it's just a different mindset. I think you have to kind of consider number 2 as your starter. If he's healthy, he starts. If he's not, you've got a great veteran backup in McLeod Bethel Thompson to come on and take the reins, which was different 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, a little bit of a different situation. Well, now they put together back-to-back victories against standings, the top 2 teams in the West. Williams. And he takes it on the far side. Ford.
Disappointed, but you can see right off the top, we talked about the only quarterback to register a win as a starter in the last 30 games for Edmonton is Trey Ford. To me, that earns you QB1 status as long as you're healthy. So we'll see. And that's not a slight on McLeod Bethel-Thompson. Great respect for what he brings to the table.
Well, he did his job coming in today.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially in this fourth quarter.
Stanback out of the backfield, makes a move, picks up the first down before Anderson, make sure it drives him out of bounds.
Now for BC, the urgency maybe, and you know, this is a chance to see Chase Bryson get a few snaps in, finish this one off, and what does that mean about the next game for the Lions?
Well, Dolegala, 14 of 23, 146. Bryce down the field for Hatcher. That's a well-thrown ball, and Hatcher hauls it in. Chase Bryce, Clemson to Duke to Appalachian State. Now here to the Lions.
Yeah, and it always needs to be said that defensively you play differently when you have a 3-possession lead and you're inside of 3 minutes. But yeah, these are really good reps for Bryce and a chance to get his feet wet, get a feel for game action.
Back out to Stanback. And he's held on to by Moncrief, who's been pretty good since joining this defense midway through the season. Here's a little bit more on Chase Bryce. Those are his Appalachian State numbers. As I mentioned, a couple of stops at Clemson and Duke along the way.
Way behind Trevor Lawrence at Clemson.
2nd and 10. And it'll be taken down. Ball pops out. Lions can't hop on it. Still bouncing around. Hollins will come over, and he'll battle with Moncrief. And BC has it. It'll be 3rd and long.
We got BC ball. BC ball, 3rd down.
So Chung eventually having it come back to him.
Sean Oakman.
That's a big load coming at you if you're Bryce.
He just decided there wasn't a wall in front of him. He was going to eliminate the wall and catch Chase Bryce from behind. But this is the game action experience that young guy needs. How quickly does it come apart? Get back there, take your drop and your read, and let it rip.
Hatcher and Hollins over the middle. There he is. Hollins has it. Morgan wraps him up, and Edmonton will take the ball back with 65 seconds remaining.
Oh, so love you, boy.
It's Cowboy night, isn't it?
It is. It's the
country night. Sorry,
country night. Country night.
Cowboy night. Country night. That's a different style of cowboy hat, but okay. I hear you.
I'm not trying to do though, yeah. He came once.
It's a good look, especially when your team's up by 17. McLeod Bethel-Thompson will be on the field for a victory for the first time in his Elks career.
Well, it puts Edmonton back in the fight. Bombers will play BC next. One of those two teams will drop that game. So,
well, here's the interesting thing. See Calgary and Winnipeg right there?
Yep.
There's a stretch. Well, the entire month of September. 2 against Calgary, obviously, with Labor Day in the rematch. Then 2 against Winnipeg. So their entire September is against 2 teams they're chasing.
Health of Trey Ford will be crucial. But they're right back in it.
Rankin finds some space, far side of the field. He'll take it down, breaks 1 tackle, and eventually hanging on for dear life there was Varga. How about this guy?
On country night, Varga had to try and hog tie. Justin Rankin. It looked like he was bringing down that calf. Look at him.
It's Tino DeValle, actually.
Oh, DeValle. It was DeValle, yeah.
Not 48.
Cloud Bethel Thompson excited about this. Let's go. Let's go. We got to win. We got 2 in a row. Hustling down.
200 rushing yards in this game for Edmonton, who now sit in victory formation and are going to deliver a victory at home for the first time since early of last September.
That's almost 500 yards rushing in the last 2 games for the Elks.
They have found a recipe for success. Jarius Jackson has him on a little bit of a heater.
You get a standing O from the biggest crowd of the season here in Edmonton.
Finally, something to cheer about for these Elks fans. BC Lions on the other side have lost 3 in a row now, Suits.
All to Western opponents, and yeah. Will Vernon Adams be ready for that Bomber game, or will it be another week? And do they start looking at Chase Price? Not that it was Gallo's fault, as you said.
He didn't do anything to hurt them in this game.
No, he didn't. But he really didn't get it down the field either. Didn't push the ball down the field.
Well, he tried and he missed a couple times by 3 or 4 yards. So something to keep in mind. Perfect world. Vernon Adams is just back for them next week at home against Winnipeg. First home win for Jarius Jackson as the interim head coach. Back-to-back wins for the Elks as they try to save their season. Trey Ford starts the game but does not finish it. MBT will come in and help seal this one away. Another good performance from Javon Leake as well. And Edmonton heating up. 33-16 your final. Sports Center is next.
As we welcome you on inside, he's Jermaine, I'm Nikki. Jermaine is a pretty epic closing ceremony in Paris. Also looking ahead to LA in 2028. I got to tell you, California, they know how to party. And I bet you they're partying in Saskatchewan as well, as the Elks who finally won at home for the first time in almost a year.
Yeah, I mean, the Elks, this is the great thing about the CFL and it being a long season, Nikki. Yeah. You're never really out of it. And now the Elks have found their groove.
Right on.
Trey Ford led the Elks to their first win of the season last week. Edmonton hosting BC on Sunday. First quarter, David Mackey under center for short yardage. He punches it in. The Lions celebrate with some fishing. Oh, reel it in, baby. BC up 7-zip early. Still in the quarter, Keon Hatcher shows off the hands, makes a great one-handed grab. That led to a field goal. The Lions led 10-1 after the first quarter. Let's move to the second. Javon Leake runs in his 4th TD in the last 2 games. This dude is for real. 12-yard score. That cuts the lead to 2. Still before the half, the Elks driving again. Ford can't find a receiver. He tries to get away from the pressure and gets taken down hard from behind. Ford making just his 2nd start of the season. He was looked at on the sideline, tried to do some throwing. You can see the wince right there. He did not return to the game. Ford emotional on the sideline. The Elks up 19-10 at the break. That's tough. McLeod Bethel Thompson took over under center. 3rd quarter, he looks end zone. 2 receivers in the vicinity, but it's Deontay Evans who comes up with the interception for the Lions. BC down by just 3 heading to the 4th quarter. 10 minutes to play. Edmonton punting. Giuliano Falunico gets called for contacting the kicker. That gives Edmonton an automatic first down. 6 plays later, Bethel Thompson to Justin Rankin. He goes 17 yards to the end zone, drops it, but he picks it back up. The Elks added the 2-point conversion. They're up by 14, and of course, they win this thing. If Edmonton snaps an 8-game losing skid against BC. It's the first win against them in nearly 3 years. The Lions have now dropped 3 straight. It's the first 3-game skid since they dropped 5 straight during the 2021 season. The Elks won't return home until they host the Stamps on September 7th for the Labor Day Classic rematch. Concerts by Metallica and Pink will take up 2 weekend blocks later in August. That's pretty good to know. With more, let's go to Kate Burness in the panel.
Alongside Matt Dunnigan and Jim Barker. And don't look now, but these two teams going in opposite directions. Ooh. And you have to love this for the Edmonton fan base. They're at home. They see their team win for the first time in Commonwealth since September of last year. The run game was fantastic. The defense allowed the fewest points so far this season, JB. Really, the only sour note for the Elks was the injury to Trey Ford at the beginning of this game.
Yeah, and those kind of things, when you play quarterback the way he plays quarterback, he's out in the open a lot. He's going to take hits, and he took a bad hit. I think it was a hit from behind where he fell on the ball. You're going to see it right here. So, again, that's a bad break for Edmonton, but he's given them a spark. And McLeod Bethel-Thompson came in and played well in replacing him. And this team has learned how to win. On the other hand, you got the BC Lions that were just totally uninspiring the whole game. I mean, they had the big penalty with 10 minutes to play that kind of changed the game, Maddie, the roughing the kicker. Mm-hmm. And from that point on, it was game over.
Yeah, you and I were talking. It was like, yeah, this is huge. This is a game changer right here. Extended the drive, and McLeod Bethel-Thompson and Rankin, who's really showing to be a nice 1-2 punch, along with this guy right here, Javon Leake, on a 2nd and 12, he outflanks the defense. It's like nobody's covering area outside. There's McLeod Bethel-Thompson finding Rankin. He goes in the end zone. That's the difference in this ball game, because momentum was all Edmonton after that, and defense just stood on its head. But yeah, you talk about the hustle play by Tehima, and which really changed the complexion of the game and who was quarterbacking for the Elks. But this football team was galvanized last week, won big time on the road against Saskatchewan. Now they just beat BC, and it's there's a lot of hope in that locker room, which is a good thing for this football team moving forward this time of the year. I liked what I saw defensively too, and Anderson playing Will linebacker, Morgan in the middle, and Moncrief at Sam. Tough to beat those three. It looked like a football team that is believing right now, Jim.
The top two teams in the West, 5 wins. Yeah. They have 2 now, yeah. And they're playing those teams coming up here soon. The BC Lions, they need to get VA back, because they go to Winnipeg, and that Winnipeg is now playing as well as anybody. Also there, and what do they have, 3 or 4 wins?
Yeah, it looks like they lost their mojo and VA went down. They got to find that quickly, because things are tightening up big time.
It is.
And meanwhile, and for the Elks, guess who they get next? They get the Hamilton Tiger Cats, so they can be right back in the mix. It's amazing. The CFL, it's never done. This is why we love the long season. And also for the Elks, too. I mean, what a benefit to have that depth at quarterback, too.
Yeah.
When Trey Ford went down, MBT came in, did a very nice job. So things are rolling in Edmonton as we send it back to Sports Center.
New on SC, it's my apology to all of Edmonton for misspeaking earlier, but right now, here's Tom Gazzola with Javon Leake.
Javon, 2 wins in a row. You got your first win on home field. This crowd appreciative. How good does this one feel?
Man, it feels good to just get a win at home in front of these guys. They've been waiting a long time for this. A lot of people came out today, so it just feels good to get a win in front of our home crowd.
How different was this win from the one in Saskatchewan last week?
Just we at home, man. The fans get to see it. You know what I'm talking about? We got a win last week. We carried it over here. That's 2 wins back-to-back, so I know the fans are pretty excited about that.
What about the adversity from tonight, where you go and you see Trey Ford go down in the second quarter, and then McLeod Bethel-Thompson comes in and picks up where Ford left off? What does that say about the group and where it's at right now?
It's just like when Mac went down and Trey came in, he scored 3 touchdowns in 10 minutes, man. It's next man up. We don't care who's at quarterback. They're going to get the job done. So, you know what I'm saying? So Mac came in, looked out for Trey, and we still got it done. Hope Trey gets well soon. So we'll see what's up with it. I don't know what happened, but I'm going to check on him.
All right, Javon, thanks for the time.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thank you.
And new on SC, let's go to Tevin Jones.
Tevin, another big night for you, over 100 yards receiving. Where are you at? Are you finding yourself in a bit of a groove right now personally?
At the beginning, it was kind of rough, but just from the help from my teammates and my coaches, we all got to figure it out in the end, and I couldn't do it without them. So.
How about your quarterbacks, too? You had to go between Trey Ford at the start. He goes down. McLeod Bethel-Thompson comes in. Is it a tough adjustment? How do you look at that?
Man, Trey's a warrior. You know what I'm saying? He'll come back strong. But Mac, I mean, he's Mr. Reliable. You can throw him in anywhere, he'll make it happen. He was playing tight end for us, helping the defense out. So you can put him anywhere, he'll make it happen.
You guys have 2 wins in a row now. What does this do for the group? How happy happy are you for your coach? You got another Gatorade shower tonight?
So we just try to make it one day at a time, one game at a time. So all we do is focus on 1-0, and then this week we got it done, and we got to focus on next week.
Tevin, thanks for the time. Congratulations.
All right, thank you.
And let's take a look at the standings through Week 10 as things get interesting. The Owls continue to sit atop the league. The defending Grey Cup champs have won 15 of their last 16 games dating back to last season. Meanwhile, the Ticats are in danger of missing the postseason for the first time since 2017. They'll have a great chance to make up some ground with their next 2 games coming against the Elks. The Elks may have something to say about that, and the Blue Bombers, whose defense has been outstanding lately. Canada. New on SC, Elks QB, McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Oh, it was great. I mean, anytime you get a win, it's awesome. I think the team played great. I think when you're running the ball like that, right, it's offensive football is a lot of fun. So, yeah, it's great to get a win, and you can tell there's a vibe in the locker room, right? We're so close so many times, and I've got a little hump the last 2 weeks, and it feels good.
So coming in like that, off the bench, different mindset for you, or what? When you come in like that, do you have a chance to see what BC's doing? Does that help? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, any team, anywhere, when I have the ball in my hands, we have a chance to win. So I got to feel that way. You got to approach football like that. And, it felt a little shaky, you know. That probably forced it in the red zone there, but you know, shooters shoot, and I'm always going to shoot. You know, that's what I do. That's my job, you know. I'm a dog, and I operate that way. So, unfortunately, I probably should have worked Curly on the backside rather than pushing right. But, yeah, like I said, shooters shoot. So, and then some rusty stuff like little cadence issues. You know, Trey's cadence a little bit different than mine, so he had some false starts. But other than that, I think, you know, we didn't really miss a beat, and we moved the ball well. And like I said, kudos to the O-line and the running backs. When you have a running game like that, football is pretty fun.
You talked about the vibe in the room after getting back-to-back wins. The vibe in the crowd today was pretty good. They gave you guys a nice ovation. You starting to sense that they're starting to jump back on board a little bit, seeing what you guys did these last 2 weeks?
I hope so. You know, it's a good football town. I hope they believe that. I mean, what you saw in the first 5 games, we should have won every single one of them. Now, when you get that losing for a little bit, we had 2 rough games, and then we bounce back and we get 2 wins. So I hope that they have football intelligence and football awareness, and know that we're a special team and a good group, and we play hard for these fans. You know, it's a blue-collar town. They want good football, and we've been playing good football, I would say, you know, probably 7 of the 9 games we were playing winning football. So that's got to be something worth watching, I think. And we appreciated them today. And like I said, it's great to have them out, and hopefully more come.
Shooters shoot. Coming up on SportsCenter, Jeremiah Masoli is set to start once again. The CFL panel returns to discuss what we can expect from his return under center.
And Chris Bassett got shelled like he never has before, but could Vlad Jr. salvage the day for the Jays by extending his hitting streak?
Good news from our nation's capital. Red Blacks quarterback Jeremiah Masoli will get the start this Thursday, replacing injured starter Drew Brown when Ottawa travels to Calgary. Masoli hasn't played this season and has been 3rd on the quarterback depth chart the last 2 games. The veteran QB has been waiting for his chance to play after suffering a devastating season-ending injury last year. For plenty more on Masoli, let's send it back to Kate and our CFL panel.
Alongside Matt Dunnigan and Jim Barker, and for the first time in over a year, we are going to see Jeremiah Masoli start a football game. With Drew Brown still injured, the Red Blacks did turn to Dustin Crum in the last game, but now deciding to go with Masoli. And Jim, after everything the 35-year-old veteran has been through and all of his injuries, it is just nice to see him back under center once again.
I mean, I just wanted to scream for joy for him, because I know how hard he's worked to get back to this point. Seeing him at the beginning of training camp this year, he was totally different than he was last year in terms of his movement and his ability to run around and that kind of thing. So I'm just so excited for him to get this opportunity. And I was with him in 2019 when he was with the Tiger Cats and was a starting quarterback. And he is an exciting player, and he will make that whole club excited. I can't wait, Matty.
Yeah, I think the rest of the country, just CFL fans, are of the same mindset, Jim. To watch what happened to him a year ago was disheartening. It was just like, no, that just didn't happen, because he worked his way back from a bad knee injury. from this one right here. And this is what he does. You know, he really doesn't run for yardage. He's got great athletic ability to escape the pocket and to put pressure on defense with his legs, but he buys time to deliver the football down the field. And believe me, Jeremiah Masoli can make every throw on the football field and make you defend every square inch of that as well. And to me, this is what's so exciting. Look, you got Dustin Crum. We know he's a proven runner. He's still trying to figure it out. Tyree Adams coming off injury, and you got Drew Brown coming off his leg injury now. To have a guy like Jeremiah Masoli step up, man, you're in pretty good shape for the Red Blacks.
I'm with you, too. And I don't think you meet a lot of people that say, oh, I don't want to see Jeremiah Masoli back in this league, back playing because of everything he's been through. We don't have to wait long because it's the first game of week number 11 as they take on the Calgary Stampeders in Calgary.
And here's a look at Week 11 in the CFL with odds powered by FanDuel. Jeremiah Masoli will start for the Red Blacks on Thursday night in Calgary. Injuries have limited Masoli to one start in the last 2 years. The Alouettes are road favorites in Saskatchewan on Friday Night Football, and the Ticats are home underdogs to the Elks on Saturday.
The Atlanta Falcons have released quarterback Nathan Rourke after a 10-day stint with the team. The 26-year-old was brought in to compete with Taylor Heineke for the third-string job. He appeared in the Falcons' preseason opener, completing 3 of 13 passes for 37 yards. The 2022 CFL top Canadian has now been released by 4 NFL teams since 2023. So the 26-year-old Victoria, BC native has bounced around the league a little bit as he continues to try to find a home south of the border. Rourke finished last season with the Patriots. He was inactive for 2 games before dressing as a backup in the regular season finale against the Jets on January 7th.